We had a couple of questions about the NRL from our listeners. Can you talk more about the NRL, says Stephen? Any players you're looking forward to seeing at the World Cup in 2021?
Yes, one in particular. Stephen Crichton. I think he's been absolutely sensational for Penrith this year. 19, centre, saw him for the Australian schoolboys when he came over here. Born in Apia in Samoa. He could be one of the most exciting young players that we see at the World Cup. Watch out for him. And there is a prop whose name I'm going to make a complete mess of at Gold Coast Titans. His surname is Fotuaika. Kiwi. He looks like he could be anything.
Actually.
Right. Well, again,
background, so
could be either. I think was he born in Wellington? But qualifies for either. But again, imagine what he could be in a year's time. So they're two in particular I would look out for.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Phil. I think also at Penrith, Brian To'o, the winger, I think he's played for Samoa. He'll definitely be in their World Cup squad. Big Tino at Melbourne. I think he's a Kiwi.
He's a Kiwi as well, I think, yeah.
He's a beast. They're going to have him and Nelson Asofa Solomona running at people.
Good luck.
It's pretty scary. And then obviously Fiji, I mean, everyone knows, Api Coruscant's been playing for Fiji for a long time, but he's been killing it at Penrith. And then you've got the wingers, obviously Mika Sivo at Parramatta is having a huge year. Ravalawa is another one. At St George Illawarra. Who else is there? You put me on the spot there.
Billy Kikau, who we saw at the last World Cup, was just starting to break through.
Villamau.
Billy to me, he looks like he could be one of the best forwards in the world at the moment. And yeah, I think what we are saying is Pacific Island nations are going to be fantastic to watch. That if we can promote it right, the England-Samoa opener, and who knows, and it may even bring Toronto into the conversation, but technically Sonny Bill could be lining up for Samoa in that game, and in terms of a boost that would give to the World Cup would be massive, because just look at the impact Gavin and Henson possibly playing for Wales could have at the World Cup. Which is being talked about.
Game. Come on.
I know, but it's being talked about, and half of the time he's talking about it and creating a buzz about it. And if he did play in a Rugby League World Cup, it would be big news.
Yeah, it depends how many pints he's probably had the night before. But on Samoa, the squad that Samoa could put together, when you also consider if they can encourage the likes of Tuivasa-Sheck or Asofa Solomona to switch. But even without that, they've got an unbelievable. It's got Jerome Luai at Penrith as well. I think he's Samoan background. I mean, I think more of the issue is the coach, whether Matt Parrish is the right coach for them. I would probably wager a guess he isn't. But if they could get a Christian Wolf-style coach, I think they could emulate Tonga, and they've got the raw talent to do that. And the other one who is a bit of a left field is Campbell Graham at South Sydney, a centre or a winger. Now, I think he born and raised in Sydney, so he's Australian, but his parents are... Sorry, I just had a phone call. Don't know who that was. His parents are Scottish and English, so he's eligible, I believe, for either. So, yeah, if you're Sean Wayne, would you pick him?
I think Scotland have already earmarked him, and he would have already played for them, I think, but for injury. But I just think the fact that we can talk about the World Cup, and tickets went on sale to the Rugby League family, i.e. anybody who'd registered on the website yesterday, and I'm told that the initial feedback is that exceeded expectations. Tickets for every one of the 61 games were bought. And the systems will push to their absolute limit for the demand that came through the website, and that is fantastic, because again, when you think that we're in such a precarious place at the moment regarding knowing what's happening tomorrow, never mind in a year and a bit's time, the World Cup organisers have done everything superbly. They've kept to their schedule. They've still got announcements geared up to make as we get to further landmarks like 400 days out, and the public are backing them. It would appear that the big games, the Arsenal game, the game at St James's to open it, the finals, they all had really good sales first day up. So let's talk more about the World Cup. Let's start talking it up now, because that could be the saviour of rugby league, and is another reason why I would preserve this current domestic season as best as we can now, in the knowledge that we have to make it the biggest and the best it's ever been.
Just to add, sorry, to players there, one name I think that definitely worth a mention is Justin Olam at Melbourne, PNG centre. Just hits like a fridge, very powerful, and I think he could make a big splash at the tournament.
And Jerome Hughes, who I think has exceeded expectations, Kiwi halfback that again could really love playing over here, and has looked fantastic in the run to the final stages of the season.
If you look at that New Zealand squad, even just in the halves, they've got Sean Johnson, Cody Nikarima, Jerome Luai, Benji Marshall. The forward pack is the Bromwiches and Sofa Solomona, and they've got
Brandon Smith as well. You can throw into.
Yeah, when he comes back from his jaw issue, they've really got no excuses. I think in this tournament next year to be in the final, if not win the whole thing.
It's just a shame that Ryan Pappenhausen isn't playing for Holland this week.
I'd be wondering if he knew where Holland was, but that might be a bit harsh.
I think it's going well for that New Zealand Australia final then at Old Trafford coming up next November. I'm being harsh. Come on, Sean Wayne, get them sorted. Come on, the lads. I retweeted something yesterday from Gary on our account. He said, "What's needed is all current internationals to tweet ticket details. Look at all the extra exposure. Plenty of people who were involved in the World Cup as ambassadors and such did that, but there is what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility of the players to do that, isn't there? To get involved and try and make this the biggest and best World Cup ever and all that kind of jazz, and maybe and the clubs as well to retweet these ticket details."
100%. I mean, there needs to be a concerted approach. How many of the Super League clubs did tweet the World Cup ticket details? I mean, I clearly don't follow them every minute of every day, but I just wonder how much exposure the World Cup got from the Super League clubs, because if you add together their combined number of followers, you'd imagine it's probably not far short of a rough guess, 500,000, and they're looking to sell 750,000 tickets in the competition as a whole. So you're going to need the core of fans. Every club, not just Super League clubs, I only mention them because they are actually playing at the moment, but you would have thought that every single professional, semi-professional rugby league club would have tweeted the World Cup details yesterday. I'm sure some of them did, but I doubt whether every one of them did.
I think I just want to give a rap to the World Cup, the organising committee, and the marketing communications people, because they've been outstanding in the way they've engaged with the media. I mean, media engagement in rugby league is kind of a running joke, but they've actually got in touch. And, can we suggest a story on this person or that ambassador? They've really pushed the envelope in terms of getting media coverage, and I think they've done a great job so far in the last 18 months, 2 years, whatever it is, and I'm sure that'll just ramp up more as the tournament comes.